Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my guide covering flying a jet. This will cover your controls, your taxiing, your takeoff, and the actual flying itself. The next guide I do will cover landings. Guide after that I will cover takeoffs and landings on the aircraft carrier. So, real quick, get into the controls. W is nose down, S is nose up, A, bank left, D, bank right, left shift, increase thrust, Z, decrease thrust, X is your air brake. Q and E, left pedal and right pedal. Your G controls gear. K and L control your flaps. I personally use the action menu for flaps. So from there, let's go into taxiing. A lot of people say there's just like one speed you can set at through the entire process of taxiing. And I've seen some people do it, but it's much easier to fluctuate. I'll go anywhere between 0% all the way up to about 80% on my throttle. Whenever I'm going through a turn, if I have very low speed, I'll usually sit around 60 to 70% throttle. And if I have high speed, like I'm going 60 kilometers an hour in a turn, I'll cut my throttle all the way down to 0. The actual speed I like to taxi at while just going in a straight line is right around 30 to 35. I will go a little higher or lower depending on the situation though and the speed I'm moving at. You can see here, I'm going to sit right around 33 and just peacefully taxi my way out to the end of the runway. By the time I reach the end of the runway though, I'm going to be going a little over 60 kilometers an hour. So I'm going to completely cut my throttle and then make this turn. As you can see, while in the process of making the turn, I lose a little too much speed to continue, so I increase my throttle some. And then continue finishing the turn. From there, I cut it a little bit more and level out with the runway. Now, every plane is different. And the way people fly is different. So find what works best for you and find what works best for the airplane you're flying. I just recommend practicing on the airfield here at Athera because there's plenty of paths for you to follow. Although you can practice in other places, so you can practice taxiing down roads, you can practice in the salt flats, really anywhere, but I find the airfield to be the best for beginners. From there, as you take off, you're going to increase your throttle all the way to 100%. Some people like to do a little lower. See no reason behind it personally, so go full throttle. And something like a Wipeout, I take off around 200 to 210 kilometers an hour. I find this allows me to not damage the aircraft at all during takeoff and leaves me plenty of room for adjustments. And I will have all the speeds for the aircraft on the screen right now. And of course you can practice and get used to them for yourself if you like. Now, once you're in the air, of course hit G and raise your landing gear. And then you got your actual piloting. W aims you down, S aims you up, hold D, you rotate to the right, hold A, you rotate to the left, hold Z, it decreases your throttle, hold Shift, it increases your throttle, hold X, and there's your air brake. As you can see, I'm drastically losing speed. Of course, your flaps and everything, I use the menu, X menu, whatever you want to call it for this. I find it to be the easiest. And then your mouse, you can control all your steering and everything on your mouse here. Move your mouse up, you move up. Move your mouse down, you go down. Move it to the right, you rotate to the right. Move it to the left, you rotate to the left. Of course, weapon systems, same as on weapons. Like rifles, and that's switching your firing mode. You're going to hit F and that switches between all your different weapons. So, another thing to note is during your takeoffs, you can use your flaps for taking off. I will use that on much shorter runways, like the Molos airfield, one way up here. But on a much larger airfield, like the one here in Athera, there's really no reason for it. So I just don't use it. You can also use your flaps in dogfighting and things like that, make sharper turns. But I usually don't do that. I fly with my flaps just completely level. And then that's basically it. Just spawn a jet in the editor, practice. I hope this guide helps you guys out, and I will see you in the next one.